Hi, everyone. This is Lawrence Watkins, and welcome to the Financial Juneteenth 5. These are my 5 favorite articles as it relates to Black finance, wealth, and business for today, October 29th, 2020. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. So the first article for today comes from the Washington Post, and it's a bit of good news. The article's title states U.S. Black owned firms make surprise comeback to pre COVID level. So it's talking about Black entrepreneurship. The article starts off by saying, Black owned businesses dealt a crippling blow in the first months of the COVID-19 crisis, have rebounded to their pre pandemic numbers, according to research based on US Census Bureau data. The turnaround is a sharp contrast to April, when a 41% plunge in the number of active African American business owners heaped more challenges on a community already facing outsized health problems. As of last month, and this is the interesting stat. So, as of last month, the number of Black business owners had climbed to or back to about 1.1 million nationwide, a 2% increase from February. The expert of the article is a man by the name of Robert Fairley. He's an economics professor at the University of California, Santa Cruz. But he cautioned that the census numbers fluctuate from month to month. So it's possible Black owners didn't see an absolute increase over pre pandemic levels. Also, the data don't address whether the owners are actually making money or not, he said. Let's see. Later on in the article, it talks about the movement to support Black owned businesses that sprung up during nationwide protests over police brutality may have been a contributing factor, according to Fairley, but is still not really known what all of the factors were or are that's actually causing the rebound. Fairley has a quote that states, the rebound might be due to a concerted effort by customers to buy Black owned or buy from Black owned businesses. I'm not sure if this explains everything, but it certainly helped. All right. Yeah, and this was interesting in terms of a contrast. The numbers or the number of white business owners was down 1% in September, and immigrants and Asians are still seeing sharp declines, with their rank still down 13% and 17%, respectively, compared with February as well. So shout out to the Black-owned businesses doing their thing, who went through the COVID crisis and are now recovering. So it's always great to see a bit of good news in the world. The next article today comes from the Washington Post once again. And the next two articles actually are talking about banks and credit unions. But this article is entitled, Bank Programs Seek to Widen the Path to Black Home Ownership. So the article starts out with a story about Delmar Freeman, who was shopping for a home last year. He's a firefighter from DC, but he had been watching home prices soaring, and he didn't think that he would have been able to have enough or save enough for the down payment. Having enough for a down payment is one of the biggest obstacles for home buyers, but it's particularly challenging for many minority buyers, housing advocates say. So when he applied for a mortgage through Chase Bank, the 34-year-old discovered he also qualified for the Chase Homebuyer Grant, one of the bank's affordable home programs aimed at buyers who purchase a home in low to moderate income communities, as defined through census data. The program is one of several that banks have rolled out in an effort to bolster home buying opportunities for African Americans, a group whose home ownership levels consistently lag behind other minority groups and white people. Housing advocates are viewing the programs as efforts to repair the damage banks caused over the years, including the subprime mortgage lending in the early 2000s, risky high interest mortgages to Americans with scuffed or limited credit that contributed to the Great Recession and the low Black home ownership rate. The grant is a $2,500 grant, along with a mortgage rate of 3.25% through Fannie Mae. And this helped make home ownership a reality for Freeman and his family. Freeman has a quote in here. He states, The homebuyer grant was just one of those little things that really had a big impact on being able to buy the home. Between getting the grant and having the lower mortgage rate, it really made the difference. And here's another. This is I guess a more general thing in regards to the initiative from J.P. Morgan Chase's perspective and their broader mission in terms of fighting inequity in the banking system. JP Morgan Chase recently pledged $30 billion to help close America's racial wealth gap, with the bulk of that commitment tied to housing. Some $8 billion will go towards funding 40,000 mortgages to Black and Latino home buyers, and $4 billion in refinancings aimed at helping another 20,000 Black and Latino customers lower their mortgage rates. Jamie Dimon, who is the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, he states, systemic racism is a tragic part of America's history. We can do more and do better to break down systems that have propagated racism and widespread economic inequality, especially for Black and Latinx people. Shout out to JP Morgan Chase as well for these programs and the other banks who are actually making these strides for African Americans to have a higher percentage of home ownership rates. But everything in terms of the equity of a home, happens when you buy. So if you want to learn more about that, head over to the Black Business School in terms of how to buy right the first time around. I'm thinking about multifamily, real estate and other types of real estate that will more than likely appreciate in value over time. But congratulations and thanks to JP Morgan Chase as well. All right. So the next article today comes from, AmericanBanker.com. Unfortunately, they have a paywall up here, so I have to read this article through my Feedly account. But the article states, what credit unions can learn from Wells Fargo's Black talent scandal. Basically, I'll start here with the highlighted quote in yellow. The financial services industry has long recognized the importance of diversity when recruiting and retaining employees, managers, and directors, but many institutions have struggled to turn these intentions into concrete results. There are roughly just 170 Black credit union CEOs out of nearly 5,200 institutions. So, of course, those are very dismal numbers, and I would suspect that many of those CEOs are running institutions that are much smaller than their counterparts as well. So the highest priorities in the new director recruitment. This is an interesting graph that they have here. So demographic diversity and the ability to focus on the future were the highest priority in the new director recruitment of these different credit unions, according to a 2020 report by Quantum Governance. Earlier this year, back to the article, Wells Fargo CEO Charles Scharf said in a memo that the mega bank struggles to meet diversity goals because of a lack of qualified minority applicants. Reuters reported in September. The bank has tied executive compensation to meeting goals around diversity and has promised to double the number of Black managers in 5 years. There was an interesting stat in here. Ellsworth Etchison said that this summer, a member of the $837 million LAFCU reached out to him wanting to know how many Black people serve on the institution's management team. They're getting a lot more of these types of questions from their top customers in regards to where these customers are going to eventually direct funding. And credit unions seem to be putting a greater emphasis on diversifying their employees and board members than ever before. For instance, demographic diversity, including age, gender, and race, was the top priority for director recruitment, as I stated above. There's some interesting quotes in here from Michael Dinault. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his name. He's the CEO of Quantum Governments. Awareness alone is not enough. We need to find a way to systematically reach out and help recruit and develop and identify talent that is out there. Victor Miguel Coro, he's the CEO of Coopera. He states people have a tendency to gravitate towards those that look like them. We all have unconscious bias, he stated. We need to be aware of that and embrace diversity and those who have different backgrounds than ourselves. More than half of the directors said diversity and inclusion data should be a factor in deciding pay for top executives, according to the study from corporate board member and compensation advisory partners as well. So this article is very interesting to me because it goes to the systemic piece of racism and inequity in this country. And this shows that many credit unions, this is on their radar. So we'll eventually see if it moves from just being on their radar, as the author mentioned, to actually tackling some of these issues as well. The last two articles have to do more with entrepreneurship. This article is from Black Enterprise. And the title states TikTok is teaming up with Shopify to support Black businesses through the hashtag challenge. So this week, social media network TikTok announced that it will be teaming up with Shopify to create a new partnership to help promote Black-owned businesses. Hashtag Shop Black is a part of the social media network's hashtag challenge to help amplify Black-owned small businesses and entrepreneurs to the users. Brands will be able to also share their own stories on their TikTok page and participate in the challenge starting November 10th until November 15th. Blake Chanley, he's the VP of Global Business Solutions at TikTok. He states, we are delighted to partner with Shopify and provide a global channel for their merchants to reach new audiences and drive sales on TikTok. As social commerce proliferates, retailers are recognizing that TikTok's creative and highly engaged community sets it apart from other platforms. We're constantly exploring new and innovative ways to connect brands with our users, and Shopify is the perfect partner to help us grow and expand our commerce capabilities globally. So I didn't see how to participate in the challenge, but maybe it has a link in the actual company blog, which is actually linked in this Black Enterprise article as well. The last article today comes from Vox Media. So it is entitled, "This Entrepreneur is Competing with DoorDash by Delivering Only from Black-Owned Restaurants." And I believe these two brothers were featured in the Entrepreneur video by Pharrell and Jay-Z. But David Cabello, his business was barely a year old when the pandemic struck. He's the founder of Black and Mobile, the self-proclaimed first Black-owned food delivery service in the country to exclusively deliver for Black-owned restaurants. And I believe he is based in Detroit, Michigan. So it's been a double-edged sword for Cabello, the article mentions. On one hand, the pandemic brought a level of disruption that made it difficult for any small business to survive, let alone expand, as Cabello was in the process of doing when COVID-19 brought many industries to a halt. But on the flip side of that, these difficulties have also brought Black and Mobile its share of good fortune. Alongside widespread calls for criminal justice reform, people began encouraging others to support Black-owned businesses to help Black communities achieve economic justice. Even amid competition from much larger delivery services like DoorDash and Uber Eats, Cabello's business soared. In June, Black and Mobile more than quadrupled its average weekly sales. So that's amazing, and congratulations to that brother. Now Cabello is charting a path forward. Despite economic instability in many regions, he's continuing Black and Mobile's expansion in Atlanta and Detroit, and he remains hopeful that the generous support of his business has received will continue in better times as well. The article then goes on to have a more in-depth interview with Cabello, and you can read more of the interview down here. But as always, we'll do our best to get David onto the Financial Juneteenth channel so that you can hear his story a little bit more. So that's about it. Those are our five, or my five most interesting articles as it relates to Black finance, wealth, and business for today, October 29th, 2020. Before you get out of here, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Financial Juneteenth channel if you would like to receive more content like the content that I produce with the Financial Juneteenth 5. Also, let me know what you think about the segment in general. We're still trying this out for a few more weeks, and if you all like it, we'll continue. If not, we'll definitely move in another direction to find the content that you actually do like. But on behalf of Financial Juneteenth, my name is Lawrence Watkins. You all take care, be blessed, and have a wonderful day. All right, bye-bye. Today's video is brought to you by the Black Business School. At the Black Business School, we don't help you just climb the corporate ladder, we help you build your own as well. We provide a culturally relevant yet practical education in all things wealth building at an affordable price. So no matter if you want additional freedom in your day-to-day life, you would like to leave a legacy of generational wealth behind to your family and friends, or you just want additional security and stability going into your golden years of retirement, the Black Business School has courses and offerings for you. So head over to theblackbusinessschool.com to learn more. Take care and see you in class soon. Bye-bye.